Shehzad Sippy, how did you think of, bringing Sholay back? You wanted to release it in 1500 screens. And
Yes.
you had to compromise on 1000.
I think so. I mean, everyone knows the success Dhurandar's had.
Very important question here is that James Bond dialogue by Amitabh Bachchan was changed to Tatya Tope.
And I had a word with Uncle Ramesh, and he specifically said to keep keep James Bond.
Dharamji would have definitely seen the film had you realized your dream of releasing it in August. 50 years.
Yes.
15th
ideally,
August 2025.
Yeah, ideally it would have been great to have released it on August 15th. Unfortunately, we were not ready with the restoration at that point. I met Indira Singh Dungapur. They first came in and helped us archive all of our existing material, which was, to be frank with you, and not in very good condition at all.
I overheard a whisper
Okay.
that you are very, very strongly thinking of making a prequel to Sholay.
I can't comment on that specifically, but I mean, there are thoughts about doing that.
Danny Denzongpa was almost finalized.
So-
Visualize Danny as Gabbar Singh.
It's hard to see anyone else.
What surprises me is that Javed Akhtar didn't want him in the film at some point. Amitabh Bachchan's role. I guess Shatrughan Sinha was almost finalized.
I believe so. That was the case. I think Dharamji recommended Amitabh's name.
And Shatru nudged him later.
Yeah.
Yaar, ye kyun tumne kiya? My favorite scene was, which was not shown earlier,
Right.
Satyan Kapoor, Ramlal making that shoe.
Putting the spikes in the...
So subtly and so nonchalantly, he just hands it over. So which is your best scene? Let's ask the
man.
family. Let's ask Shehzad.
Sholay has become such a part of Indian cultural heritage that,
It's become a part of our bedrooms, living rooms, kitchen.
Sita or Gita. That would be a fun film to restore next.
Sita or Gita went on to be not remade per se, but a very similar version we had in Chalbaz, Sridevi.
With Sridevi. Yeah.
You've seen that?
I've seen that, yeah.
But which one is better? Shehzad Sippy, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है the Vickey Lalwani show पर. I met you at the screening of Sholay last night, and I must thank you for doing this in such quick time, the interview with me.
No problem at all. Honored to be here with you and discuss this film.
Shehzad, I must say I was honored to see the film last night. I saw it after many years. Of course, I had seen it several times before. And the new end, the few scenes which are cut out,
Right.
edited maybe because the length was longer at that time.
By the Censor Board, actually. Yeah. At that time. Yeah.
They were all there, and what a fascinating experience my family and I had. I must ask you straight away that why was this end not shown? If I can say it now, the Sanjeev Kumar actually killing Amjad Khan.
Amjad Khan, yeah. Correct.
Thakur killing Gabbar Singh.
Right.
From what we learn is that during emergency and all that censorship issues came into play. But what had actually happened?
Well, as you're aware, the Censor Board had issues with several scenes, including the climax. My understanding of why that was an issue was the political climate at the time during the emergency, and specifically Thakur's character, him having been a police officer at the start of the movie. But when he takes his revenge, he's a private citizen. They didn't want a private citizen to take the law in their own hands at a point in time where there was a lot of lawlessness within the country. So that's my understanding of why all of these scenes were cut, including the climax. And I know personally that Uncle Ramesh and Uncle Salim, Uncle Javed, they were quite upset that their artistic vision was not able to come out the way that they wanted it to, and they had to sort of compromise in that respect in order for the film to be released and move forward in a way.
Yeah, because if you look back at the end which was shown, where Om Shivri just butts in from nowhere and says, "Stop it! You're not supposed to kill him."
Exactly. It's a forced ending.
It's a very abrupt end.
It is, and and there's a scene in this new cut where Dhiru embraces Thakur at the end of this whole climax, which is so powerful. where he breaks down.
And the way Sanjeev Kumar breaks down
and
is
it brings
phenomenal.
the story, kind of full circle, in a way that it's sad that didn't make it into the original ending. So I'm grateful we had the chance to, get this version censored again and then accepted again to be shown to audiences. And I hope everyone will, appreciate it when they see it.
Before I proceed, I'll tell you what was my favorite scene. My favorite scene was, which was not shown earlier,
Right.
Satyan Kapoor, Ramlal, making that shoe.
Putting the spikes in the...
So subtly and so
Yeah.
nonchalantly, he just hands it over to...
Correct. Yeah. That's one thing I love
Sanjeev
about
Kumar.
the film in general is the power of silence it has in certain places, where you don't need dialogue or loud music. It's just the emotion from the actors. I mean, a brilliant job from everyone, it's
That
just-
flashback scene where dead bodies are lying.
Exactly. That's
Sanjeev Kumar is just
another one
staring
of
at
those
them.
scenes.
There's silence for a
Correct.
good 8-10 minutes. Nobody speaks.
Yeah, even if you see Radha, Jaya G's character, I mean, she doesn't say hardly anything in the film, but there's so much expression and, sort of nonverbal communication with the way she portrays that character. So that's one element I really appreciate of the film also, it makes those moments a little more magical.
Shehzad, how did you think of, bringing Sholay back and showing everything?
No, so I recently took the company over maybe about 18 months ago, and my father passed away in 2021. And right before he passed away, he told me
Suresh Sippy.
and he had told me that the original cut of Sholay is sitting in London at Technicolor, and I guess it had been sitting there for maybe 30, 40 years. And I got in touch with them shortly after he passed away, and they had 500 cans of Sholay as well as 500 cans of Shan. So we got all of those sent back to India, and then we embarked on the restoration journey, and that's where I met Shivendra Singh Dungapur, who's running an amazing organization, the Film Heritage Foundation, and they're doing such amazing work to preserve all of Indian cinema, no matter whether it's Hindi cinema or region-wise. It's a pan-India mission that they're on, and they first came in and helped us archive all of our existing material, which was, to be frank with you, and not in very good condition at all.
What was the state of the Sholay?
So when we went to go find how everything was being stored and all of this,
The Sholay print.
they were all kind of just unorganized, put in different cans. The facility it was being stored at was not properly operated from like a humidity control, temperature control standpoint. And there's a lot of other industry people who have their films there. So the first thing I did was get those films out of there and put them in the hands of Shivendra at the Film Heritage Foundation, because he has world-class standards in terms of archiving material, cleaning them, winding them, etc., and keeping all the right conditions to preserve the actual film negatives. So that was the first step we did, and then we got all the new materials analyzed and realized we had we had some material preserved with the original ending and the deleted scenes that the Censor Board cut 50 years ago. So that's where Shivi took over and conducted this huge restoration job over the span of a couple of years, and most of the restoration was done in Bologna, Italy, by a fabulous team that's restored all of the Sergio Leone classics and other classics from around the world. So we really wanted the best people in the world working on it, and we feel we got that at the end of the day.
But who decided, let's show everything that was censored, cut earlier?
We knew this year was Sholay's 50th anniversary. We knew it was coming up, and we thought, there's, me personally, that, there's a lot of people my age, younger, who've never had the chance to see this movie on the big screen, only on TV or, on their phones, on DVDs, etc. But that experience of watching this in a theater with, Salim Javed's dialogues, with Uncle Ramesh's direction, with R.D. Burman's music, and all the ensemble of actors, apart from the main cast, all the supporting actors. I mean, just to see that on the big screen and experience it the way people did 50 years ago. I wanted to bring that back for people again, but I wanted to bring back what the maker's original intention was, so that people could experience what they wanted them to see, So that was a mission, and so we were just hopeful to, make it all happen. And I'm very grateful, with the way things have turned out. And
Was there
we were
any
able to-
problem at the censors this time?
No, I have to thank the Censor Board. They were, very, very great to work with on this. And I think this film has become such a part of Indian cultural heritage that,
It's become a part of our bedrooms, living rooms, kitchen,
exactly.
everything.
So for me, that was important also that, we preserve this for future generations to be able to experience this. But more importantly, during the 50th anniversary, we give Sholay fans a chance to go to the theater and experience it the way it should be experienced, But no, Censor Board was fantastic. I've got to say they were great. And we got a U rating on the film, the same rating that was given to the cut in 1975.
Very important question here is the James Bond dialogue by Amitabh Bachchan was changed to Tatya Tope.
No, so it's actually the other way around. Is that the original dialogue in the film was Tatya Tope. If you see Amitji's lip sync, it's Tatya Tope. But
Even then, back then,
the original, when they shot the film, it was
75,
But
yeah.
when they went to dub it, I believe Uncle Ramesh and Salim Javed, they felt James Bond was more relatable and they didn't want to offend anyone from that community. So in the film, in the cut we put out, it's James Bond. There was a little confusion in the trailer. I think there was a misstep where someone put the wrong dialogue in the trailer, but in the film that's been restored.
और अभी कह रहे थे कि they are going to go back to Tatya Tope.
No. We kept James Bond in the film.
Yeah.
Per Uncle Ramesh's request and Salim Javed's request, James Bond is what
Was
they
there a debate just before release कि क्या रखें?
I did have a word with him, and I had a word with Uncle Ramesh, and he specifically said to keep keep James Bond, and I believe Shivi spoke with Javed Uncle, and he said both are original. You guys decide which one you want to go with. So, but for us, it was just we let the guys who made the film decide. We didn't want to take a call on that either ways. So
One lament, Dharamji is no more.
yeah,
We lost Dharam just a few days before you re-released Sholay.
Before we re-released, yeah. No, it's a huge loss for the entire industry and the entire country. He was such a warm, loving person, and what an amazing actor, and what a, everyone says the most handsome man to grace the screen in Indian cinema. But, he had done other films for the family, Sita Aur Geeta, right before Sholay. So definitely, I know the Sippy family, Sippy Films had a very close connection with Dharamji, and everyone was quite devastated to hear the news. We were quite happy that we had a chance to go to TIFF with Bobby Deol, a little earlier this year to do the North American screening of this restored version. So he was there to represent his dad. So that was important to us that at least, Bobby was there on behalf of his dad to represent the film. I just wish he could have seen the restored copy. I think he would have really loved to have seen it. But we all miss him, and it's left a big hole in everyone's heart. But if anything, we just want to pay tribute to him with this re-release, and hope fans can go and see what he looked like in his prime, on the big screen, and enjoy the amazing actor and performer he was.
Were you in touch with Sunny and Bobby when he was unwell? Recently, last 1 month?
Yes. I was at the prayer meet, and before that, like I said, I'd met Bobby at the TIFF screening when we'd gone to Toronto. But
He told you dad is keeping unwell?
I don't recall exactly, so I don't want to really comment on that. But I was aware that he was not keeping too well, but we were all hoping and praying for his recovery, at that point. But yeah, the news came as kind of a shock to us, as it did everyone else. But we knew he had been keeping a little unwell. But besides that, there's no other information we had or would want to comment on, to be frank. Yeah.
Have you met Amitabh Bachchan recently?
I've not met Amitji recently, but hoping to meet him soon and show him the film if he'd like to watch it. I did meet Salim Uncle, and I met Javed Uncle a couple of days ago. So they were quite excited about the whole thing. I think Salim Uncle's watching the film tonight.
Wow.
He's excited to see it. But both of them are keeping in great spirits and doing really well. And I think they're happy to see that after 50 years, this amazing work they did in terms of all these beautiful characters they crafted and the amazing dialogue they've written, that even after 50 years, it's still ingrained in people's minds. And like you said earlier, it's become a part of Indian pop culture and part of Indian cultural heritage in that sense, you know. So it's just it was really nice to meet with them and
Any other actors' family you reaching out to?
I mean, I'm obviously reaching out to everyone that was involved with the original film from the cast and the crew. So we're doing that at the moment and just, you know, trying to get everyone to have a chance to see it, you know, now that it's restored.
Anybody has reverted back and spoken?
Yeah, like I said, I think Salim Uncle's watching it. We're waiting to hear back from a few others. I think a lot of people are actually wanting to not have a private screening. They want to go watch it in the theater with the public, you know.
Yeah.
So that's also, you know, I think the best way to watch the film. But that
reminds me, you wanted to release it in 1,500 screens.
Yes.
And you had to compromise on 1,000.
I think so. I mean, everyone knows the success Dhurandar's had, so there's no secret in that. And we have another film also releasing today, so that did you know, compromise the plan a little bit. But we're also not totally dissatisfied with the screen count we have. I think the Pen Marudar distribution team's done a fantastic job of getting us, you know, a very good screen count and show timings, given the situation. And we feel, you know, given the film, you know, it's a 50-year-old film, everyone's seen it so many times, but we feel through word of mouth, people will want to experience it on the big screen. So yeah, intention was to release on 1,500 screens. As you know, it's no secret, Dhurandar's done it phenomenally well. There's another film also releasing today on the same date. So that being said, I'm still, you know, very happy with the way Pen Marudar has handled the whole week one release plan. And we feel we're in enough theaters around the country that, you know, paying tribute to this great classic during its 50th anniversary, everyone will have a chance to go experience it in the big screen.
Dharamji would have definitely seen the film had you realized your dream of releasing it in August. 50 years,
yes,
15th
ideally,
August 2025.
Yeah, ideally it would have been great to have released it on August 15th. Unfortunately, we were not ready with the restoration at that point. And yes, it's very sad that Dharamji didn't get to see it, because I would have loved to have shown him the film. But yeah, that being said, I mean, I think the 50th anniversary of Sholay started on August 15th. It lasts till August 15th of next year, you know, so we felt we had a little window, but we wanted to make sure it came out this year in order for fans to experience it.
You know, there were certain characters in the film, the roles were originally offered to some other actors. Let's take, for example, Amjad Khan.
Right.
Like Danny Denzongpa was almost finalized.
Exactly.
And then he had a clash of dates with Dharmatma.
Exactly. Yeah.
Visualize Danny in that role.
Yeah, you know, it's very, I mean, Danny's a fine actor. I mean, Danny's...
Visualize Danny as Gabbar Singh.
Yeah, it's hard too, because of how well Amjad sir played that role and what he was able to do with that character. And, you know, a lot of people tell me this story about how he was sometimes cursed by this role also, that he did it so well that it followed him through the rest of his films going forward. But it's hard to see anyone else playing that character. And, you know, I think Uncle Ramesh has a great story where he says he was casting for that role and he was laying down in the Sippy Films production office one day, and Amjad walked in and he immediately knew that this was his Gabbar Singh, you know. And I just don't think you could imagine anyone else playing that role the way he did, you know, at the end of the day.
What surprises me is that Javed Akhtar didn't want him in the film at some point. He said his voice is very weak.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've heard that. I mean, but again, what an actor to, you know, pull off the character the way he did, you know, at that point. So I mean, I can't really comment on what Javed Uncle may have thought at that point in time, but for me, all of Gabbar's dialogue, delivery, all his, you know, vocals in the whole movie, they're insane, you know. So
yeah, I don't think it was weak at all.
Yeah.
I mean, right from the first scene where he kills his 3 people.
Yeah, he's got that menacing tone. I think from what I'm watching Javed Salim Uncle's documentary, is that Javed Uncle coached him a lot on the diction and the cadence of the delivery of the dialogue. He had kind of based it on a Mexican bandit, if I'm not mistaken, from what I remember from that show. So maybe that had something to do with it.
Yes, he worked on him because initially maybe when he started with him, he may have found it a little...
I think that may be the case.
On a lower tone.
Exactly. Could be.
Yeah. And then Amitabh Bachchan's role. I guess Shatrughan Sinha was almost finalized.
I believe so. That was the case, and I don't know the exact story per se, but yeah, I believe he was slated to play it, and I think Dharamji recommended Amitabh's name for the role, and they decided to move forward with him, and the rest is kind of become history now.
And Shatru nudged him later.
Yeah.
Yaar, ye kyun tumne kiya?
Yeah, exactly. But again, like I said, I don't think you can see anyone else playing Jay other than Amitji. So I think it was just destiny that the universe came together and brought all these amazing actors and technicians to make this film.
I remember I was sitting with Ramesh Sippy years back, and he told me that Hema was very, very not happy with the role initially. He said,
Right.
I don't want to do it. Just
Right.
5 scenes, 6 scenes. What am I
Exactly.
doing in this film?
Yeah.
Where
No,
I'm not even integral to the plot,
Yes,
to the revenge story.
correct. Again, what an iconic character she played in Basanti, and I think I've seen Uncle speak about it before, but Hemaji, as someone who wasn't a native Hindi speaker, from what I understand, how she had to develop this ability to speak so quickly in this role of Basanti, and the way she pulled it off, she's a legend in her own right, for her performance in the film.
How much truth is to the fact that Sanjeev Kumar's role was first offered to Dilip Kumar and Pran?
Okay, that I'm not aware of. That's something maybe you'll have to ask Uncle, but hard for me to comment on that. I know. See, in the movie right before Sholay, Sita or Geeta, it was Dharamji, Sanjeev Kumarji, and Hemaji. So he brought the same 3 sort of main actors to this film, but it was about Thakur and Gabbar. So they were the main characters in terms of the revenge story, and everyone else kind of had to support the film around it. But when you say support, everyone has their own meaty sort of role within the film.
So which is your best scene? Let's ask the
man.
family. Let's
Uh,
ask Shehzad.
There's so many great scenes.
I've already told you my best scene. Satyan Kapoor making that shoes
Yeah, I think
with the nails.
I think for me, the scene is my favorite scene is the flashback that happens right before the intermission, where there's the action sequence where Jay and Viru are staring at Thakur for not picking the gun up, and then he kind of reveals the backstory to the whole revenge, and where he comes back to his house and sees his family basically massacred, and the power of that scene where he. They're all covered in those bed sheets, and then the last one flies off. For me, that's a very gripping, iconic scene that I really enjoyed. So, yeah.
सलीम साहब के फ्रेंड्स थे 2 जिनका शॉर्ट फॉर्म नाम था वीरू एंड जय.
Yes, I've heard that story. Again, I don't know the full details into what that is, but I believe it's Salim Uncle's friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
And he only named them.
exactly he
Viru
came
and
up with
Jay.
the name. Yeah, that's supposedly the truth. Yeah, I don't know if those friends, who those friends are.
There was also a rumor that, initially, shockingly, the film was declared a flop, if you remember.
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday was terrible.
Correct.
And there was a rumor that people didn't like the fact that Amitabh Bachchan was dying, and maybe Ramesh Sippy was going in for another change of
To
ending.
reshoot it or something. Yeah.
Was
No,
there a
the
little bit of
details.
contemplation?
A little bit. See, I know when the film released, it got bad reviews for
Yes.
sure. And I think it was also monsoon time in
Yeah.
Mumbai, so there was some flooding and
Yeah.
issues with people getting to the theater.
Yeah.
And then it picked up after a couple of weeks. But I've heard that story about them thinking of reshooting.
But was
Jay.
there a contemplation from?
I can't confirm it, but I've heard the rumor. So I'd have to again ask Uncle if that's something that's true or not. But I've definitely heard that, but can't confirm if it's true.
I think he must have toyed with the idea because
Possibly.
he was not happy
Yeah.
with the end which was shown, where Om Shuri
Possibly, yeah.
butts in and says,
Exactly. So-
"Don't kill him.
Yeah.
Don't kill Gabbar Singh."
Exactly. So it could be true.
There's a very one cute small thing. Dharmendra's romance with Hema ji blossomed in this film,
Right.
and it is said that he used to goof up some of the scenes intentionally, so
Right.
that he has retakes with her.
I have heard that he did pay some people on set to mess up the
Who
shots.
told you this?
I think I've read it in Anupama Chopra's book, Sholay, The Making of a Classic. I believe it's there. Or I think I've read it online also. I mean, if you're in love with someone, I think it's only natural that you may do some of those things in a fun way, you know. So
You're out to revive Sippy films.
yes,
Sippy films has a huge lineage.
yes,
Andaz, Sita और Geeta, Sholay, Shan, Shakti, so many. Sagar.
yeah.
What's the plan, Shehzad?
Well, there's a lot of stuff we're developing at the moment. We're just being a little, careful before we start talking about things. We want to get things a little moving a little bit, but there's definitely plans to produce new films and take the banner forward. The first thing we wanted to do, though, just for this 50th anniversary, was tribute to this landmark film, is restore it and get it out in theaters during this calendar year. But we are moving ahead with a slate of new films that we will be producing, and you'll be hearing about it shortly.
New ones. Are you restoring some of the old ones?
We are also going to continue to restore some of the old films. I mean, a lot of our classic films. So those will be coming next. Yeah, definitely the plan is restore some of the classics, release them, and then continue forward with some new
Which is
productions.
your favorite in this whole lineup?
Of all the films?
Yeah, in the Sippy lineage.
I mean, it's hard not to say Sholay is your favorite, just because of...
Okay, let's keep Sholay aside.
Okay, outside of Sholay, I really enjoy Sita or Geeta. I think it's such a sort of pure sort of film in terms of the contrast of these two people, and so I think that would be a fun film to restore next and bring back for audiences. That also has this great crew of Dharamji and Sanjeev Kumar and Hema ji. So I think that would be a fun one to do next.
Sanjeev was also in love with Hema Malini.
So I've heard again.
And so was she.
Yes, so I've heard again. Before my time, I wouldn't know anything about it, but I've heard the same. So it's interesting. To say.
Interestingly, this film Sita or Geeta went on to be not remade per se, but a very similar version we had in Chalbaz. Sridevi.
With Sridevi.
You've seen that?
I've seen that, yeah. So I mean, but before Sita or Geeta, I believe there was Rama or Sham. So this concept has been around. But I think again, credit to Salim Javed and Uncle Ramesh, the way they crafted it, and Hema ji's performance. That movie kind of stands,
ahead of Chalbaz.
I'm not going to say ahead of anyone, but it's just the way they put that together. I really appreciate, the way that turned out and the way.
But which one is better?
I don't want to get in the business of saying whose film is better, but I'm a little biased. So for me, I'm a big fan of Sita or Geeta, so I'll say that. But don't want to pit myself and judge.
Any one film in this lineage, which makes you wonder why was it made? Come on, yaar, itni achhi nahi hai.
I mean, it's hard to say that. There's a lot of people who worked really hard on those films, so I can't really say
absolutely
what were they thinking, their conviction at the time. But I think Bhashtachar may be a film that maybe didn't connect with audiences the way they thought it would. So maybe that's one. I think Hamesha was another film also that didn't really connect. I don't think.
Yeah.
So maybe these couple of films possibly. But again, everyone I think went with the right intention when they were trying to make it. So it's very easy to look back and have hindsight's 20/20, as they say. So I don't want to judge anyone in that.
No, but there is a question mark. Question mark does arise that the man who made Sholay, Sagar, Sita or Geeta, Shan, Shakti. Shan I wouldn't put in that category, but Andaz goes on to make a Bhashtachar. I mean, way different.
Yeah. So look, again, I can't tell you what
No, you named the two films correctly.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah. So I don't know again what the thought process was at the time, and frankly, I'm sure everyone went in with the right intentions to make the movie, and the movie business is that, right? Not everything is going to connect with an audience at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I don't want to comment on what my uncle was thinking or anything, but I think everyone went in with the right intentions. So that's all I can really say about it.
As I said, Shan I wouldn't put in that category because Shan was one film which came next after Sholay.
Right.
And I remember the line from Andheri to Irla, at least 2 kilometers, and I've stood in that line for the ticket.
Wow. That's
In
amazing.
the advance booking line.
That's amazing.
The theatre was Amber Oscar in Andheri.
Right.
There's a shopper stop now, but initially there was a Amber Oscar minor 3 theatres. Dande pade the police ke. Line mein raho. But when
That's
we
amazing.
saw the film,
Yeah.
nahi yaar, ye kya bana diya? You know,
Y'all didn't have the same feeling. I guess, look, Sholay set the bar so high. It's not easy to live up to that, expectation. So I think that probably had something to do with it. But again, the movie business is such that not everything is going to hit the way you think it might. And I know a lot of people who still are huge fans of Shan and really love the movie. So I think maybe, it's just each one to their own on that. But again, it had great music, great performances,
that Shakal.
great set pieces, action, so they didn't spare any expense to make it. And, like I said, Sholay probably set the bar too high that it was hard for audiences to accept something else after that.
No, I think the production values were raised so high and it was a little urbanized, which put you off a little.
I think so. I think
with
so. I
that,
think Sholay worked because it was in a rural setting, and
yeah.
this went a little too urban.
Because
Possibly
this guy
that's-
picking up a gun and whereas Shakal is pressing buttons.
Yeah, correct. It maybe was a little ahead of its time.
Kulbhushan Kharbanda,
You know?
the villain there.
Probably, yeah. Probably that had something to do with it.
Yeah. So, what's the first thing that we are going to hear now after Sholay? I overheard a whisper
Okay.
that you are very, very strongly thinking of making a prequel to Sholay.
I can't comment on that specifically, but there are thoughts about doing that. There are various things we're developing at the moment. So we will be making some announcements very soon, but I don't really want to get into the specifics of any of it. But like I said earlier, there's a combination of restoring some of our existing classic films, and then we do have some, a new slate of content that we will be putting on floors very soon. So
It'll be interesting.
yeah,
I mean, the very fact that almost 90% people in Sholay are gone.
yes.
90% of Sholay people are gone. Who do you cast in the prequel? Sunny Deol and Abhishek Bachchan.
No, look, we don't even know if that's happening per se, but casting is something we'll have to look at. But whatever you do, you want to just do it well. So I feel in due time we'll start making announcements on what we're doing. But at the moment we're just in development on several things, and hopefully we'll let you know real soon, as soon as we have something to say on that.
Pick your favorite character from Sholay. Now don't tell me I can't, I don't.
No. I think for me, I love View as a character. Dharamji's performance as that character is such a warm, loving, fun character, and he's kind of the opposite, of Jay, who's the more serious one in the film. And Dharamji was the biggest star of Sholay at that point in time, in terms of his status, and it was just so great to again see him on the big screen and see his performance. So for me, it's always been View. I would say besides that, I really love Sanjeev Kumar's performance as Thakur. And the movie is his movie, actually. The whole revenge revolves around him. So I would say he would be my second favorite in the film.
Begins with him, interval is on him, ends with
It's his
him.
movie, yeah. If you think about it, the story revolves around him. And then Gabbar would be right opposite, in terms of the whole revenge drama. So, yeah.
You people have made history, and
No,
I'm
thank you so
very
much.
happy to have done this interview with you.
Thank you so much. No,
I don't know how many more times I will see Sholay. I don't know how many more times I will see Shakti, Sita Aur Geeta,
Right.
Andaz, even Sagar.
No, true. No, but thank you so much for doing this, and I'm so happy you came yesterday and enjoyed your experience watching the film. And I hope everyone goes out to the theaters and has a chance to watch this on the big screen.
I wanted to do this interview right there at the theater also if we had a setting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shehzad. Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you.